UFC Noche, Gene Silva taking on Diego Lopes in this one. The card absolutely fucking blows, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on basically any of these fights because I don't care, and neither should you. I don't know why you clicked on this video in the first place, but regardless, I am going to be giving you a full breakdown for every single fight on the card. So, that being said, let's get straight into it. Rodrigo Cezinando versus Danil Donchenko. Some Ultimate Fighter contestants, I guess. I don't know how the that works, but Cezinando is kind of boring. He tries to kind of draw out the fight in the modern day MMA scene. A lot of fighters try and dull out fights in order to win, and that's what he does, and it's not good. And he leaves a lot of openings in doing that. I'm taking Danil Donchenko. I think he gets it done by TKO early. I like the finishing potential. His striking is clean, and he goes in there actually looking to fight. So, yeah, I'll take Danil Donchenko, and I think he gets it done early. Alice Pereira versus Montserrat Rendon. Alice Pereira is not Alex Pereira's sister. It's just another girl, I guess, with the same name. But she's 19 years of age, which some people do have questions about. Like, is she really going to go in there and scrap it out with a veteran in Rendon? But I don't really have a lot of those questions because I don't think Rendon's proven anything, really. They have basically the same amount of experience. Pereira's striking, I think, is way better. And the new era of MMA, I think it's night and day in comparison to the people that are older and the people who are newer. So, yeah, I'm taking Alice Pereira. It's women's MMA, so I'm taking a 29-28 decision. Yeah, that's all I got for that one. Alessandro Costa versus Alden Correa. Alden Correa should not be in the UFC. Alessandro Costa is going to get an early finish here. And yeah, we'll move on with our lives. I don't know how the Alden Correa is here. If he somehow wins this, it's legitimately 1 in 100. They fight 100 times. Alessandro Costa beats him maybe 100 times. But with the way that this year's been going with underdogs and shit like that, I have no fucking idea what's going to happen. So I'm taking Alessandro Costa. After that, Zachary Reese versus Strique Dumas. Strique Dumas, he's not in the right headspace, really. He just got, like, arrested for, like, the fucking 85th time or whatever the hell. He's, like, posting his bank account information online. Like, I have no money. I need to fight. Like, yeah, you dumb fuck. You're paying legal fees upwards of hundreds of thousands of dollars. Stop. And he's chinny, and Zachary Reese is very long, and he's a sniper, and he's powerful, and I like Zachary Reese here. I'm taking him. What did I take him by? I took him by round 2 TKO. That's what we'll take. I like his teeps. He fires loaded right hands behind it. I like that a lot. So, yeah, I'll take Zachary Reese. Jesus Aguilar versus Luis Garul. Luis Garul is a favorite here, and I have no idea how. He hasn't won in the UFC, is that right? But even on the Contender Series, he won a split decision that it's like not the most impressive thing in the world. And I really like Jesus Aguilar as an underdog, so I'm taking him. He's really powerful. By the way, Jesus Aguilar, if he looks exactly like Calle Fernandez. Look up Calle Fernandez. They look the exact same. But I'm taking Jesus Aguilar. He's kind of a short, stocky wrestler who's powerful. Maybe not wrestler, but he's kind of a brawler. And I don't think that Luis Garul is going to be able to hold off the pressure that he puts on. So, taking Jesus Aguilar, I have him by first round TKO. I think it happens early. I think the pressure is going to get to Garul. Tatiana Suarez versus Amanda Lemos. I'm taking Tatiana Suarez, like most sane human beings. Amanda Lemos is 850 years old, and she still doesn't know how to defensively grapple. Tatiana Suarez, I know that she is an American grappler, which I don't like, because based off of recent history, American wrestlers suck. But Amanda Lemos, I think, is borderline, I use this term a lot, but she's borderline retarded when it comes to grappling. So I'm not I'm not picking her against a wrestler. It's not going to happen. So I have Tatiana Suarez. I have her getting a submission at some point. I don't know what Amanda Lemos did to deserve this. So, yeah, moving on, I guess. Claudio Puelles versus Joaquim Silva. I'm taking Puelles. Puelles looked good, didn't he, recently? So he went to a split decision with Fares Ziam, and then before that, it was the Dan Hooker fight, obviously, where he was, like, acting like a complete idiot, like rolling for legs and stuff. I think that he's going to be able to offensively grapple and really just annoy the shit out of Joaquim Silva. Yeah, Joaquim Silva is kind of just a meathead, and I think that the pressing style of just nonstop takedowns, nonstop looking for submissions is going to get to him. So I'll take Claudio Puelles, I guess. I don't like either of these guys. I don't really give a so, moving on from that. Jose Medina versus Dusko Todorovic. This is genuinely the worst fucking matchup I have seen in the last 3 years. And I'm not fucking kidding. How the hell do either of these guys have a job? Jose Medina is a glorified punching bag, and Dusko Todorovic, I think, only has half a brain. I'll take Todorovic. I'm not breaking this down. I don't care. Not that I've even been breaking down the other fights, but I mean, I'm not doing this. Jose Medina is literally in the UFC to get the shit kicked out of him. I don't care. Santiago Luna versus Quang Lee. Luna's making his debut. He's pretty good, actually. He's very well-rounded. He's got good offensive and defensive grappling. He's good on the front and back foot. He's powerful. He's got good KO power. And Quang Lee hasn't looked very good recently, if I'm not mistaken. He got the win against Gaston Bolaños, who's overrated as fuck. He's the guy who looks like Ilia Topuria, if I remember that correctly. Yeah, he's the guy who looks like Ilia Topuria, but actually, in reality, he blows. And then before that, you're losing to Long Zhao, and Long Zhao's fun to watch, but he's not the most technically sound guy I've ever seen. And the guy making his debut in this one, Santiago Luna, is very technically sound. He's very well-rounded. I think he wins in pretty much every area here, and I have him winning a first-round TKO. Moving on from that, Alexander Hernandez versus Diego Ferreira. This is probably the hardest fight to pick on the card. I have no idea who's going to win. Alexander Hernandez looked good in his last fight, only because Chase Hooper is smooth-brained, and he doesn't know what he's doing on the feet. So I got to take that with a grain of salt, obviously. Carlos Diego Ferreira he's good, and he's a good veteran, and he's a tricky guy to figure out. So I'm gonna take him. This is literally a coin toss. I don't know what to do here. Yeah, I'll take Carlos Diego Ferreira by decision, I guess. I think they're evenly matched in most areas, other than maybe the striking, like in kick range. Alexander Hernandez has some good calf kicks, but that's it really in terms of like his kick game. I think their boxing is very, very even. Yeah, I'll take Ferreira. I have no idea. I'm gonna be honest. I have no fucking idea. Moving on. Kelvin Gastelum versus Dustin Stoltzfus. Kelvin Gastelum missed weight again. This fat fuck can't get it together. Getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars, and he can't make weight because he's got all sorts of junk food in his mouth. And after all that, I am going to take him to win. Dustin Stoltzfus sucks. And Kelvin Gastelum in his last fight against Joe Pyfer did actually pretty well. Better than I thought he would. I mean, the first round was a mauling. He was getting the shit kicked out of him. But then after that, he stepped it up, and he actually looked like a competent human being. And Dustin Stoltzfus, didn't he fight Nursultan Rusaboev, and he almost won? No, he didn't. I think he clearly lost 2-1 in that fight, but he didn't look terrible. But before that, he's getting flatline KO'd by Bruno Ferreira, like really bad. And then the Abus Magomedov, obviously, I think it was the teep that Abus hit. He hit him with a teep kick in the liver. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of his last 7 fights, it's loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, and then before that, it's loss, loss. So, I mean, you can't trust this guy to win a fight. I'm taking Kelvin Gastelum in 2025. Moving on. Rafa Garcia versus Jared Gordon. Rafa Garcia is probably one of the more wasn't he undefeated? He was undefeated when he got to the UFC. He lost to Nasrat Haqparast. He lost to Chris Gruchmacher. I don't even know who the that is, I'm going to be honest. Drakkar Klose, and then Grant Dawson most recently. Dominantly beat the out of by Grant Dawson. And then his most recent fight was Vince Pichel, who's not good. Vince from Hell Pichel is fucking atrocious. He's 43 years of age. If Rafa Garcia didn't win, I would be really worried that he's also retarded. Jared Gordon's probably one of the more underrated fighters on the whole roster. I love his boxing. I think his boxing's sharp. And if you look down the line of his career, he's been in there with very, very good competition, and he's given a lot of guys problems. The Paddy Pimblett fight, obviously, I thought he won. I thought he clearly won. People say Paddy Pimblett broke his foot. Yeah, because Jared Gordon checked a fucking kick. Like, that was his doing. Before that, Leonardo Santos, Grant Dawson before that. Like, he's been in there with really good competition. And I don't think that Rafa Garcia is anywhere near the guys that Jared Gordon's been in there with. I think Jared Gordon gets this done by TKO. I think that this gets done in the later rounds. Same as Kelvin Gastelum, by the way. I didn't say that. I think Kelvin Gastelum gets a late finish. I'm not going to spend long on this next one. Rob Font versus David Martinez. David Martinez has done absolutely nothing to get a shot at a guy in the top 10. Rob Font's very, very good in the boxing realm. He keeps a really high guard. He is susceptible to like low kicks because he's very lead leg heavy, but I don't see David Martinez being the one to exploit that to any extent at all. And David Martinez hasn't fucking fought anybody. What the hell are we doing? This is actually like pissing me off looking at this. This guy fought Simon Oliveira and Xavier Franklin on the Contender Series, and now he's just getting Rob Font. He had a fight with Carlos Vera booked and Quang Lee booked. Both got canceled, and then they go, yeah, give him a guy in the top 10. Doesn't make any sense at all. I'm taking Rob Font, and I'm taking him probably by a dominant 30-27 decision or maybe an early finish because the difference is that big. Main event time, Diego Lopes versus Jean Silva. I've been watching film for this, and I think it's a mismatch. I think it's a complete mismatch, and I'm taking Jean Silva. Diego Lopes has not learned, or he at least hasn't shown us at all, develop as a fight goes or work off of a counter or slip on the inside of something. He kind of crashes in, and he crashes in well, don't get me wrong. Like, he's not just throwing punches and running forward like Juliana Pena or Nikita Krylov. Now, he's not a complete idiot. Like, he knows when to throw and knows when to sit down on punches and wing hooks. Diego Lopes throws a lot of looping shots. Typically, it's the right overhand into the left hook. Jean Silva does a very good job of picking up on things like that, and he does a very good job of learning their timing, and he picks up on their timing quick, and he steps in and he cuts them off with straight shots down the middle. That's how he knocked out Melsik Bagdasarian as well. Melsik was throwing looping shots, and he got the timing down, and Jean Silva stepped inside and slipped off and popped the right hand down the pipe. I don't think that Diego Lopes gets cracked, man. Like, he's very hittable. Very hittable. Jean Silva has showed us he does not get tired when he has to grapple. His grappling's very good. His grappling defense is very good, and offense. I think that the only way that Diego Lopes wins this fight is by submission, and even then, I don't think that happens. I think Jean Silva is the best fighting nerd. I think it is a complete mismatch. In terms of just those looping shots that Diego throws, it's very easy to cut those off, especially when he throws the same combination over and over. It's right overhand left hook, and then maybe another right hand behind that. When you're in there with Jean Silva, and you're probably not going to put him away early, I don't see him putting away Jean Silva early. If you can't put away Brian Ortega early, you're not putting away Jean Silva early. Jean Silva, he when he finds that timing of guys who throw those big looping shots, he steps inside and he cuts them off really, really well. And he pushes you up against the side of the cage with high kicks. He'll throw teep kicks. His calf kicks are very good. I think that Diego's going to be able to land some low kicks as well, by the way. John Silva doesn't really do anything about low kicks. He kind of just deals with it like Max Holloway does. He just like, you're going to kick me there and I'm not going to check it. I'm just going to deal with it. So you can kick me as many times as you want and it's not going to matter. That's kind of his ideology in terms of getting kicked low. But it's going to stay. I think it stays on the feet. And I think that John Silva gets a second round TKO here. Diego Lopez is too hittable, man. And I think John Silva is championship level. I really do think that. I think that he beats Diego Lopez here. I think he gets a shot at Volk, and I think he knocks out Volk too. Obviously, the Fighting Nerds hype has been derailed, but I think John Silva's the best, and we showed it against Bryce Mitchell. He dominated Bryce Mitchell, man. He did. People say, oh, he couldn't find the range in the first round. He couldn't hit him. Bryce was unhittable. Blah, 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 blah. Like, was he really? Really? What fight were you watching? Because the fight I watched, John Silva was landing rips to the body. He landed a wheel kick. He almost guillotined him, and then he choked him out. So, what fight were you watching? I saw Bryce land maybe 3 calf kicks. That was it. John dominated him. That's all I got for you. I appreciate you for watching. I've been inactive as of recently. I apologize. I will be back with more. I've had a busy week, but yeah. I'm excited for this. We got Canelo Crawford. We got Diego Lopez, John Silva. I'm excited. So I appreciate you, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.